भोले मुक्ति तेरे को भी नहीं मिला. That for some reason, see these kind of dialogues where there's a lot of deeper understanding, it just hits you on your gut.
If you watch Sayara, you should watch this one. It felt like a major plot hole for me that where did Ved go?
Heartfelt, emotional love stories, I really enjoy those. Heartbreaking, heartfelt, all of that. Yeah, and also.
Hello and welcome to India Today. I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
And this is Maruti Acharya, and we just completed watching. This is one of my most anticipated films from Bollywood this year.
Although it is not out of my favorable genre, I was like anticipating this film ever since I saw them in the trailer. So I was also quite excited for this film.
Yeah, and also that added a lot to the hype
so
around the film.
You have to mention A.R. Rahman at the top as well. There's a lot to talk about the film for me. There's a lot to crib about as well. There's a lot to complain about. But when I just think about it in retrospect, was I satisfied with the film? Is this something that I walked out of the film as a, absolute disappointment? No, I really enjoyed my time in the film, for most parts at least. It talks about your involvement when you're sitting there and complaining about everything that the character is doing, right? It's out of frustration for the character's action rather than what the film is doing or offering. So that kind of engagement is something that I, hadn't gone through in a while now. I will say that this film is a winner for me, but then there are losing points too, which we will get to.
I am fully not able to say I am in Tere Ishk mein with the film, especially because of the pre-climatic and climatic portions, but most of the film I was entertained, engaged, emotionally invested in the film. I would say this is one of my favorite genres, like heartfelt, emotional love stories. I really enjoy those. Heartbreaking, heartfelt, all of that. But this film, I genuinely felt like it fell under the burden of it trying to be too poetic in the ending, too Shakespearean, too poetic, where the whole essence, the whole emotion that was built is different from the pre-climax and climax. Feels like you're watching a different film altogether, which is not adding up with the entire film. So 90% I'm fully happy with the film. The last 10% is pretty heavy. We'll get into the details. First things first, what works me in the film? I will put A.R. Rahman and performances in one line. Firstly, A.R. Rahman, my god, the music, the songs, the soundtrack, especially according to situation, the way they have used instrumentation. There are some portions where there is no music at all. So overall, the sound scope of the film is beautiful.
For me, the performances was a little bit higher than the music, but since we are already talking about A.R. Rahman's genius, after a while, I actually felt the greatness of A.R. Rahman, because if you just look at the previous work in the recent years, it kind of felt like he was doing repetitive work.
Yeah.
It felt like, this is A.R. Rahman's music. The standard and the brand is what we are listening to rather than the beauty of his music.
Correct.
Here, the beauty is just mesmerizing. Does make you feel all the anger, the emotion, the frustration, the trauma, all of that. Sure, but like I said before, performances top for me because, man oh man, see, if Dhanush is in a film, as you just naturally expect a brilliant performance irrespective of whatever genre it is in. And here, in a way, it feels like he is in his element. The pain that Dhanush conveys, for example, without any spoiler, there is this shot in the film, which is also in the trailer, where he's just standing there as this, Air Force officer in attention position, but as soon as he sees Kriti Sanon, the way the body is stiff, but you can see him sinking through his eyes. That is acting, man. That is brilliance. And Kriti Sanon as well does a brilliant job. Prakash Raj was just amazing in the film. Especially in the Hindi market, people might just remember him as, a villainish guy, Singham, or more of these characters. But film, once again, I felt like, yes, this is the Prakash Raj that all of us in South India know. This is the Prakash Raj who needs that, that is the level of glory in his performance that everybody across India should watch.
+1 to all of that, Dhanush is a phenomenal actor. But I feel when Aanand and Dhanush come together, right? Some of the lines that I think they write for Dhanush and the way he delivers. The scene that he was talking about where he's standing stiff, he realizes that Kriti Sanon is here. He'll give that expression, he's stiff but that expression. And then followed up, it's a mild spoiler, but the dialogue that he utters is, मुझे उल्टी करने का मन कर रहा है. Man, that just the dialogue, the way the scene was staged, his performance, I think the combo really works. Kriti Sanon was also really, really good, convincing. It's a very, very tricky character. There are lot of shades, lot of angles. There is lot of scope for you to misunderstand that character. The writing definitely complemented through most of the film, barring the climax portions. We will get to that. But her performance definitely nailed it. So that is the level of impact both the performances had. And Prakash Raj, my god, there's this one scene. He's been going to police station for Dhanush in the film for quite some time. But there's this once he will go, the way he's running around and looking. It just broke me. I was really, really heartbroken when I saw that scene. So Prakash Raj is the emotional heart of the film.
Another thing that I really liked in the film is the direction of Aanand, right? Yes, we have some complaints with him. We will get to it, but the story and direction, with that you can see that this particular filmmaker knows what he is doing. Why this is called his genre,
Yeah.
right? You can see for most of the film's proceedings, you can see everything just aligning right. And if not done right, it would just as easily be swept to the side as cringe content. But you can see the brilliance with which each and every scene has been established. You know, as a story writer and a director, this person is who he is and is revered so much for a reason. Welcome back. We need more films with, so much to talk about as well. So
Aanand Rai, not just his direction, I think the whole writing team really complemented his direction vision with this film, because there is a world building that is happening around, okay, which even though it is not actively adding anything to the story, but it is playing a crucial role, whether it be the Tamil dialogues that are coming, or there is a scene and it's happening in an auditorium, and when professors are supposed to leave, the dialogue that they say is, आज exit poll का time है, शायद freebies वाले फिर से जीत जाएं. So it in a way, that's the vibe that they create with the writing department helps in creating that world building. And I really appreciate Aanand Rai's films in general, because whether you like the film, hate the film, but you will have an opinion about the film, you will talk about the film, you will think about his films. So it has been there. Even Ranjana, till today, you sit in a conversation and bring up Ranjana, there are so many opinions, so many things to talk about that film. I'm pretty sure Tere Ishk Mein is also one such film. He'll make sure it is so wild, things go, like the tangents at which the story travels, the arcs. Deeper level also, there is a lot happening with every character. So communicating all of this without it feeling a chaotic khichdi is a very difficult task. I think Zero suffered with that problem where it became a lot chaotic. But I think in major portions, Tere Ishk Mein really lands.
this film definitely is a conversation striker, but one of the things that you will talk about in the film is the dialogues it has.
Yeah.
Right? Lots of beautiful dialogues delivered by many cast members. It's not restricted to one particular actor to give you all the punchy dialogues, but everybody has their significant dialogues, making all of their characters significant as well. That is something that has been missing in recent Bollywood films.
Yeah.
If you just look at it, but here it was very nice to just listen to so many dialogues delivered brilliantly as well. Although there were some bad dialogues as well.
Yes.
That was there too. But when there's good, you just be happy about it as well.
Especially there is this one dialogue with one cameo appearance in the film. I don't want to reveal it. Bhole, mukti tere ko bhi nahi mila. That for some reason, see, these kind of dialogues where there's a lot of deeper understanding, it just hits you on your gut. You're just, you shackle down. So 90% of the film is filled with beautiful dialogues like that. Getting to the things that didn't work in the film.
See, my biggest complaints about the film is with the story and the direction, right? Direction as in the story, the direction the story took. I can see that me personally, I'm getting invested in what is happening. So I'm like, why is this? What is this? This is wrong. And all of that is there. But I felt like through the climax part, which we've been complaining about right from the beginning, the story kind of took the wrong turn, the wrong direction. There was everything on a platter there to make it a really wholesome film. With the backstories, with the degrees that they have, with the credentials that they have, with everything that is established, the trauma, everything. We have a psychiatrist, we have an Air Force officer who has, who's on the edge. And they know each other like quite intensely. And when all of that is there, there could have been a much better resolution than a poetic one.
Adding on to that, my biggest problem with the film is not how it is told. Whatever the point that the director wanted to say with scenes or the broader point, he managed to tell it perfectly with his filmmaking skills. Technically, everything comes together in communicating that. No problem. But what is that he's trying to say is where I think some characters appear, they become an integral part, they suddenly vanish. Some characters, some character motives, some are justified, some are not. So it feels more chaotic than clear, because of which, even though you're invested in that love story, in the emotion of that love story, you're not fully invested in the proceedings of the love story. And trust me, it gets worse in the climax portions, because I understand the poetic value that they were trying to achieve with the climaxes. But is that really necessary for this story? Because the pre-climax, climax feels like, what is happening? Am I watching the same film? Is that needed? You're more frustrated than anything else, and it's not because of the character actions per se, it's for the writing itself. The story is going for some random tangents, the new arcs are being opened. Is it necessary? Why and what are you trying to justify with all those actions? So I had many problems, especially with the climax, because of which I had a little sore feeling when I was leaving, even though I enjoyed 90% of the film.
Yeah, it is because we enjoyed 90% of the film that there is so much frustration towards the climax.
Could
right?
be.
The standard that was set with most of the film was so,
Yeah.
such a high. Personally, I would say on the same high or even more than Ranjana. But the way the directions took at the very end were, very confusing, to say the least. It didn't make sense in any way, either as a viewer or as somebody who is an avid consumer of content, or someone who also likes to think board and do all these story writing. Someone like that, when you, any hat I put, it just didn't make sense. I kind of lied when I said that was my biggest problem. My biggest problem was, where did Ved go? Tell you who Ved is. Ved is Shankar's best friend.
He is Shankar's Murari, basically.
Yeah, basically, yes. That is the right thing. You can see him always, they're always together throughout the film. They even probably live together. They're always eating in the same house. Shankar's father, played by Prakash Raj, is beating up him as well. So you can see that relationship is something special. So when a friend like that is there, where did Ved go by the end of it? It felt like a major plot hole for me that Ved just
went missing.
Where did Ved go?
Yes.
बनारस में खो गया क्या?
बनारस में सिर्फ आशिकी नहीं, दोस्त भी खो जाते हैं.
वही तो.
Another thing that could have made the whole film experience a little better for me is editing. Some scenes felt a little repetitive, and some scenes, even though the scene emotion is already conveyed, I felt like the scene went on for a while after the emotion is already hit. So a crisper version would have had a better impact. I know people will go watch the film in theaters. Everybody is going to have...
And please do. Please.
Yeah.
If you watch Sayara, you should watch this one.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Because it has all the elements that, a film needs in today's time to become a hit. Especially going with the trend that is working. I feel like this film, if not for the trend also, had all the elements to, set the trend. 90% of the film, at least, we enjoyed a lot. We were connected.
Yes. Another resolve is, please come back and mention your opinions in the comment section below as well. With that, this is Maruti Acharya.
I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
And you're watching India Today.